Okay, so this is part 2 of the video you just watched, which shows how we allocated 20,000 naira to invoice as well. Now, this right here is the receipt we allocated to that invoice, and the balance amount, that's the unallocated amount on the receipt, is remaining 5,000. In the last video, it was remaining 25,000, and then we allocated 20,000. So I would allocate this remaining 5,000 to that invoice as well. So I'll edit the receipt again. And then you can still see the invoice too is still having balance of 5,000 naira. Why? Because a receipt of 20,000 to it. So now to fully allocate the amount on this invoice, I would check this box that I want to allocate for this invoice. I'll put 5,000 naira, which is the remaining balance unallocated on both the receipt and the invoice. And then I go back and click cash receipt. So if I click on this cash receipt, the system rolls and then it does the allocation for the receipt as well as the invoice. Now, what I said in the last video, once the receipt and the invoice, or the credit transaction and the debit transaction, has been fully allocated, they would no longer appear on this screen. As you can see, we've allocated the 5,000 naira remaining on that receipt to the 5,000 naira remaining on that invoice. And then the invoice and the receipt are showing here. If you look at this screen, you can no longer see the receipt on this screen anymore. If I edit any of these transactions to see the invoices or the debit values, debit transactions, as you can see, the invoice too is on this showing on this screen. And what that means is both receipt and invoice has been fully allocated. So that is on how to allocate individually to receipt and invoice.